They're going to play at this little dinky soccer stadium for 2 years, and then they're going to move into this billion-dollar moneymaker. I mean, the bottom line is Cranky and the Rams and Chargers, I think, are going to be swimming in money. I think the Los Angeles market will dictate money. I think the television scene there will be, frankly, I believe fivefold what they were making in San Diego, at least. I think they'll make at least 5 times the money. San Diego doesn't matter, and Los Angeles is the #2 market in the country, without a doubt. And a lot of people would believe it's #1. New York's #1, but the fact of the matter is, I've always said, and no one listens to me, which I understand, but I'm talking about when I say things like this, people don't respect me. But I think, Los Angeles is more spread out, in my opinion. I lived in both places for a long time. I've spent my whole life in Los Angeles and New York, right? So here's what I think. And Carver High, tell me if I'm wrong about New York. New York is filled with 8 million people, and then you've got Long Island, and you've got New Jersey, okay? And New Jersey is not New York, okay? And so I believe that when you're talking about Los Angeles, I always believed, and you know, Craig, you live out there. To me, Los Angeles is 20 million people spread out over, frankly, Orange County, Los Angeles, all of Southern California, Riverside, the Inland Empire, San Diego, Long Beach. Well, I know you're not going to football games. Yeah, listen, I know, I live there. I know they don't go. The bottom line is if they win, they'll go. If they're in first place, they'll go. If Goff becomes, let's just say, God forbid, he becomes Joe Montana one day, and he's successful, and all that #1 draft pick stuff pays off, and let's say 8 years from now he's the best quarterback in the NFL, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's say it does. If he turns into something big, which is what they believe he will, then if he turns into a fantastic quarterback, I believe they'll pack that new stadium to watch him play every week. If they're in first place and playing for playoffs and Super Bowls, believe me, Los Angeles will fill the stadium. If they're terrible, which is what they were, no one goes. And if the Chargers suck, no one will go. And that's all there is to it. But still, at the same time, they will make more in television rights and everything else in Los Angeles, more money than both St. Louis and San Diego combined, and I repeat, 5 times over. I mean, it's just that simple. They're not moving to Los Angeles because they want a different tan look. They're going there because of the money. Los Angeles is where the money is, and even though you and I both know San Diego is where the money is, much like Malibu and the high Beverly Hills, the high-end living of Los Angeles. There's a lot more money down in San Diego, and there's a lot richer people living down in San Diego, believe me you, with their yachts and their cliffside manors. Believe me, I know, but those aren't, those aren't football dollars. Those aren't football dollars, man. The rich people live down there are old, and they're retiring and dying. Just like my grandparents did, and Escondido and Rancho Bernardo, they all died there, like everybody else. A bunch of old people, rich, that are waiting to die, and that's just all there is to it. If you don't like it, go to bed. But you know it's true, Craig, and I got a lot of friends that live there. What am I wrong about is what I want to know, and I'm not even trying to be right. I think they screwed up, but I think they did the wrong thing. But at the same time, in the end, 10, 15 years from now, San Diego will be like having a food clogged in your throat at a restaurant. You need somebody to Heimlich you, and then it spits out and you move on your merry way and get in your Bentley. The bottom line is 15 years from now, they'll be so drowning in money. Spanos will be buried in a gold casket worth $1 million per inch. So bottom line is they'll be drowning in money. The franchise, the owner, and all the fans will have nothing. They'll go to football games and get fleeced.